Sandy and Rich, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone, the video you've been waiting for. Rich makes a card.
Yeah, wow.
We hope you enjoy it, and at the end, we'll give you another treat. Rich is going to show you Honey's big dog trick. I hope you'll stay tuned.
I'm going to make a card that's layered in with I'll call it a star. It's got several layers from the star, and they're going to look like this. This is what I'm cutting out. Okay, there's actually 4 patterns. You're going to have this full piece here. Then the next layer is going to be this one, this 6-point, then the 4-point, and then this last one will actually be the inside one. I actually did this video earlier, and it didn't work out so well because the camera didn't record for some reason. So they're going to look like this. I'll show you what they look like. The first piece was actually this silver background, so I'm going to use that. I'm not going to cut that one out. That one's already cut. The next one will be the 6-point, which will be that one. The next one will be the 4-point, which will be that one. And the last one, which will be the centerpiece, will be that one. I'm going to cut out one to start. I'm actually going to cut out one like this. Actually, no, I'm going to start out with this one, this 6-point. I'm going to cut out the 6-point, and I'll show you how I'm cutting it out, and then I won't make you watch all the other stuff, and then I'll show you how I did the glue pen and some glitter. So let's start with the 6-point. Now you can't really see it on this dark paper. The printing didn't print out as dark as I'd like, but there's a 6-point right here. Probably can't see it. See if I can get you a picture. And I'm going to cut this out, and then from there, I won't make you watch the whole thing because it's kind of boring. What I do want to tell you is I don't really talk a whole lot when I'm doing a project like this. I give Sandy kudos for doing the video because she can talk and do it. I can't. It's difficult for me to do that. I have to concentrate, otherwise I'll make a mistake. Alright, so let me give you one pattern here to start with so you can have an idea. It's actually kind of intricate, and I gotta tell you, I don't have the patience of a crafter. I give you guys all the kudos and the love in the world because I don't have the patience for this. I try to compare it to photography, where I'll take a picture, and then when I'm done with the picture, I'll put it in a program similar to Photoshop, and I'll mess around with the colors and the shading and maybe add some textures, just something to make it look different and unique. Here's the difference between that and what you guys do. If I make a mistake on this, I got to start over, like I did, especially with the video. But if I cut incorrectly, then I have to actually start over from scratch, or from that particular piece. When I'm in like a photo editing program and I'm working on a particular one, I can always back up and retrace my steps and do it again. I don't lose the whole picture. I could lose portions of it, or delete it and back it up and redo it. And it doesn't take me that long. I could work a couple hours on it, and I'm satisfied with it. But this can be frustrating, and I give you guys a lot of kudos. Okay, I'm going to finish going around this, and it's actually going to end up like this. I promise you it will be that way. So let me finish it out, and I'll be back. Here's the final piece, and there's going to be some glitter, which I did in the front, but I'll explain that in a little bit. That's one piece. Now I'm going to do the 4-point. Which is this particular pattern right here. So I'm going to cut that out. This is a lot easier to see. And again, I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. Just going to do a couple of these so you get an idea. It's very intricate, actually. If you have issues with your hands, like that's the whole reason for Sandy's channel, Crafting for Almost Everyone. She wanted to do it for people who might have some issues, challenging issues with their hands, or coordination or anything like that. And I gotta say, this is pretty. For a guy who doesn't have any issues, it sure seems like I got a whole bunch of them doing this. And when I'm doing this, it's actually, it can be kind of frustrating for me, because like I said, I don't have the patience that you crafters have. My patience is limited when it comes to this. But when I did the first one, when I did all this and it wasn't on film, I got all this done and I want to show you a little bit. That was frustrating that it wasn't on film. But when I got it sort of put together, I was pretty pleased with how I got it put together. I was proud of the accomplishment I did getting that done, because I got to tell you, running up to the end of this, like I did, I was having doubts about whether I was going to finish this project or not. But when you get the project done, you look at it, you go, oh, that's pretty cool. And you're kind of proud. And I know you guys have seen this before, because Sandy did one when we were at the craft show. She thought it'd be easy enough for me to do. Yeah, that's a joke. Again, kudos to you guys for having the patience and the temperament. I cut a 6-point. This piece, I just finished cutting the 4-point. And then from the 4-point, I'm going to do this centerpiece. I'm going to cut that out. So, which would be the actual center of this. I'm going to cut it out. So let me cut that. I'll be right back. I've cut them all out. And yay, I didn't make a mistake. So, like I said, I already cut this one out. I did the 6-point to 4-point and then centerpiece. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use this quickie glue. And what we're going to do is we're going to go around the edges, and I'm going to pick the pattern that I want to pick. And we're going to put the glue on, and we're going to put glitter on after it dries, and we'll show you what that looks like. So let's start with the 4-point. And in the 4-point, there's a pattern from the printing they already did. So what I'm going to pick is, I'll show you here. The pattern I'm going to pick is sort of like a diamond. I'm going to go here, around the edge, right up to center, and on the outside there. And then in the middle of this, go here, here, trace right around now. Then I'm going to fill the center in. Okay? And I'm actually going to do that for all 4 sides. So trace the outside of this pattern. Now it goes on kind of a bluish color, but it dries clear, and when it dries clear, that's when you know it's completely dry and tacky, and that's when you can put the glitter on. Fill the center in. Okay. Do this one. I'm going to do this whole one, and then we're going to move on to the next. And like I said, I'm not going to make you watch all of it, but just kind of get an idea. I'm not sure if I'm showing you enough or too much. I'm not the communicator that Sandy is when it comes to teaching. She's a lot better at it than I am. And actually, if you haven't heard that story, if you didn't tell you, that's how we met in college, actually. Well, we actually met way before that, in my freshman year, but well, that's a different story for another day. But how we became to know each other was she was my tutor. I wasn't very good at accounting, and my advisor said, you need a tutor. And Sandy got me through accounting. She is a great teacher. Alright, so that's the one pattern for the 4-point. I'm going to let that dry. You can see this is blue, and this already over here is already clear. That means it's dry. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do this one. And how I'm going to do this one, use this as an example. If you take out the end pieces, all these lines that come out, I'm going to do every single line going out, and then the outside edge. And when I'm done with that, for example, it'll be like this. I'm going to start from the center and go out. I'm going to do every single line, and then I'm going to do the edges. Right? And when I'm finished, I'll dip it in glitter. Okay, and then I'm going to do the 6-point as well, but I'm going to follow the same pattern as I did with this one, the diamond shape. I'm going to follow that, and I'm going to do that on this one. And when I get those completely done, I'll come back and I'll show you about the gluing. Okay, here's what we're going to do with the glitter. We're using the Stampin' Up! Glitter. It's called Dazzling Diamonds. And the easiest way to do this is to grab a pair of tweezers and just pour it on. See how it makes the pattern? Pretty cool. I'm going to do each corner. Try not to get glitter everywhere, especially on me. Then you can use a brush, a soft brush, and brush it off, or you can use your finger. Use my finger. And that just takes off the loose stuff and keeps the tacky stuff, the glue and the glitter down. So when you're done, that's to the edges you get. Now I didn't do anything in the center because you're not going to see it anyway. I already completed this is the 4 point. I actually completed the 6 point, and I did it in the same diamond shape. So when I put it together, it's going to look like this. And I also did the center piece. Remember I told you I was going to do each individual line, and that's going to go on top like that. But we're going to do that with dimensionals. I'll show you that in a minute. So let me clean up the glitter, and we'll be right back. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I did on this one, I did the edges all the way around with the glue, and then I dipped it in the glitter, so I gave it some dimension of some kind, so it doesn't look plain and reflective. It kind of gives you, it kind of stands out a bit. So the next step is we're going to put all these together on top of each other, but I'm going to use dimensionals to do that. So, and look at me using big words now, dimensionals, like I know what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm going to use small dimensionals on the back of this, these little small squares. I have no idea where she gets them. So I'm going to put as many as I can to make it stand out. Or stand up, I should say. Well, there's one thing I forgot to tell you. I'm going to show you that in a second. And it has to do with the edges of those stars. Because when you cut them, sometimes if you don't color the edges, it looks kind of weird. So you want to kind of darken them. Let me put these last couple on and I'll show you how to do that. The edges. What you want to do with the edges, this is before I did all this already. I probably shouldn't have put the dimensionals on the back, the tape. So what we're going to do is, I would suggest, but this is before you glitter it, you actually draw on the outside on the paper and have the tip just touch the edges. So what that does is, see if it turns the edges dark instead of white, because the paper can be white or it can be dark. It cannot look good if you're not careful. So I colored the edges of each one of these. So I colored the edges, and that all. Oops, there you go. So you can't see it. So it kind of gives it a cleaner look, I should say. So you do that on each one. You do it on this one. You do it on this one, and you also do it on the big one. Let me put dimensionals on the back of both of those, and then I'll take the tape off the back and I'll show you how to place them on the piece. I got the dimensionals on the back, and I pulled off all the backing, so I'm just going to lay it on top of this piece. And you want to line it up where the stars line. Actually, you want to line up in between, like this. And get it correct. In between. There you go. And then this one will line up opposite. Yeah, it's going to be like that. Okay, here's the joy of being me. I actually cut this incorrectly, but I'm going to show you how to fix my mistake, because that's the kind of guy I am. The background, I told you the silver was correct. This one is correct as well, and I put that on. Now, when you put the 4-star on, when it's done, it's going to fit in between like this. But when you notice, there's a gap. Like, how are you going to fix that gap? So here's how you fix the gap. You do a second 4 point, and you put them in here with dimensionals. And I put dimensionals on all this. And you stick it right here. Right in there. Boom. Proud of myself. It's not perfect, but I'm enjoying it. Alright, then the last one is this one, the centerpiece. I'm going to take off the backing for these. Should be fairly quick. Okay, and then this I'm going to put right in the center, match it up. Boom. Look at that. It's not perfect, but I love it. Alright, I'm pretty happy. Gives it some dimensions. Push that down a bit. Alright. Now, what we have to do is I got to get some cardstock, and we're going to put it all together, and that's going to be the easy part. So let me get my trimmer cutter, and we'll get back. Okay, here's the paper and the scoreboard. So this card is actually going to be, it's 11 inches. We cut the paper, the cardstock. This is just practice paper. I'll show you do it in a second. And then what you're going to do is you're going to score it halfway at 5.5. And then you're also going to score it, I believe it's 2 3/4, right here. So it folds. I'll show you what it looks like. So it folds, and then it folds, fold in half, and then you fold in half again, because that's actually going to make the pop up. So let's do that. So we're going to start with center. It's 11, so you want to go 5.5. Go to 5.5. Okay. And then you want to score this half piece of 5.5. You want to score it in half. So that'll be 2 3/4. Or this side, doesn't matter. So we'll go 2 3/4. We'll be right there. So score that in half. So this is what we have. Just like this. Score in half. Bend it. This part you bend in half as well. And there's your card. And then we're going to put it together. But before we do that, now that we have this card made, the actual base made, we're going to put some dimensionals on this. We're going to put some, not dimensionals, we're going to put some beads and some embellishments, that kind of thing. So let's get a few things out for that. Okay, here's what I'm going to use. Just a few, nothing major. I'm going to put like one in the center, right in the center there. And I think I might put one around the edges, just in the tips, maybe. On the silver part, just to kind of set it off. I gotta say, I'm happy. I'm proud of the card that I'm making, but I gotta tell you, it's kind of ugly. I'm not real. It's not real pretty. Oh my goodness. Didn't line up the way I want it, but hey, I'll work with it. I'm happy. There's actually one under here, but can't see it because I got it offset incorrectly. This has to be the all-time ugliest card. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome when you do this. Because I'd have chucked this away. I'd have done something else. Something easier. Here's what I would have done. I would have said, Sandy, can you make me a card? If I needed a card. Because she'd do it for me. And that way I wouldn't have to laugh at myself, curse at myself. Alright, one more. I think we're done. Okay. I would say it's not beautiful, but I'm happy. You know, it is what it is. Because Rich the Crafter. Alright, so we did that. And now we got the card base. But we're also got to make a backing for it. And here's what I got for the backing. The silver one is going to be 5.5, and this one's going to be 5. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on top of here, glue it down, and then we're going to put this on top of this, like that, like so, right in the center. So we're going to use some wet glue, and she gave me, what'd she give me? Crafter's Precision Fine Line Glue. So we're going to use that. Do the edges, make sure everything's good. I'm going to put this right in the center. I'm not sure if I missed that part. I glued the red on the silver And some of the edges are popping up, but I can glue that down. And then once we're doing that, we're going to take the card we just scored. Remember, we scored it 11 piece in half and then half again on the one side. We're just going to glue this to the bottom part, to the bottom half of this right here. So when they open the card, it pops up like it opens and pops, and it stays open like that. So let's glue the back of this, and then we're going to add my hella good creation. And if I were you, I would take this design, because it's going to be free on the pattern. Actually, you can use any Mandala that you find and cut the patterns in a way that you like, or use the one we're going to download, or that is going to be downloadable for you. And I would do that only because this is an exclusive, never happen again. This is a Rich the Crafter one-time deal. Could be worth something on eBay. Alright, so we're going to put the bottom half on, press that down, and we're going to let it sit for a minute. Okay, we got it to stick down. So here's what the card looks like this. And we're not completely finished yet. I have another embellishment I want to put on there, a sentiment. So that's what it looks like. And then when you open it, it pops up like this. And you're thinking to yourself, how's it going to stay popped up? That is not a problem, because here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a line of these beads, and we're going to put it right there. Okay, here's what I did. When you open the card and it pops open, I did put a bead down there. It didn't quite work, so here's what I did. I actually took a knife. Sandy calls them demon sticks. It's just a cutting knife. And I cut a V from the top, from one side to the other. So what I did, and then I put a bead on top. So that pops through. So when you open this up, it slides right there and it stays. Beautiful. That's a Rich invention. Crafty Rich, look out. Alright, so now we're going to put the embellishment on. Okay, the embellishment I have, this was going to be a New Year's card. So I cut out, or actually, who am I kidding? Sandy cut it out for me. Happy New Year. So all I'm going to do is add that. Just glue the back, this fine tip. Put the happy here. And then new. At the top. And then year. Alright. Well, I gotta say, it turned out better than I thought. I'm pretty pleased, actually. Here's the base. And I went over, I'm going to give you dimensions for all this. I explained it earlier, but I'll put it in the video too when I edit it. My happy to stay down. And then to pop it up, to stay. How awesome is that? If I could, I'd pat myself on the back. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I apologize that it was kind of erratic. Whoop, there's my new. It was kind of erratic, and I've never done a video before for Sandy. I gotta tell you, it's a little rough. And I give her lots of credit for doing this.
Show me your butt. That's a girl. Good butt. Let me see it again. Come here. Good girl. Show me your butt. Show me your butt. Show me your butt. No, show me your butt. Oh, that's a good girl. That's a nice butt. Here.
There it is. The big dog trick that Honey could do. She can show him her butt. So we hope you enjoyed the video and Honey's dog trick, and that you'll give this a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends about us on social media, because you know we love that. Merry Christmas to all of you, and we hope you have a happy and healthy 2019. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.